We got to talk about Nick Cannon, man. We got to bring Nick Cannon to the front of the congregation.
Let's talk about it.
Nick Cannon was fired, from Wild 'N Out, from some comments he made. We got to be clear. He wasn't fired from The Masked Singer. I don't know if anybody watches that. I think that's on NBC. He was not fired from that show, but he was fired from CBS and Viacom. Right. And we know the longtime show he's very popular for, and it's Wild 'N Out. He was fired from that. So, but that being said, the comments, and I want to be accurate when I say, because Nick Cannon said a lot of things in that podcast, but from my understanding, what he was fired for was this. He made and he referenced several conspiracy theories about Jewish people, including the Rothschild centralized banking and the 13 families and the bloodlines that control everything, even outside of America. That's what he was fired for, right? It was terrible backlash. The Jewish community, said it was anti-Semitic comments, and he came back at him very strong. Now, he also said, let me be clear, because some people, like this is out there too, kind of floating around. He also said that white people are inherently violent. He used the term animals because of their lack of melanin. Right. That was one of the things he said. So,
you low-key sound just like him right now.
Okay. I don't know if I do or not. But that's what so that's what the gist of kind of the conversation. It was obviously it was an hour-long conversation, but that was kind of the gist of it.
Who's he with?
Who was he with? I think Professor Griff. He was with Professor Griff. For those of you who know Professor Griff, part of Public Enemy. So whatever.
Former.
Person of public in the group Public Enemy. All right. So to talk about it, there's a lot of things to tackle. And for me, first I'll throw this out there. A lot of powerful Black people came, and supported Nick. Came at his aid. And for me, I don't know how y'all guys feel about it. I can appreciate that, right? You know what I'm saying? In a time like that, a good brother, well-intended brother, we kind of know him and know his work, kind of said some things, and unfortunately he got fired, and they came to his defense. So, I mean, do y'all think that there was a problem that, it was Diddy, I think Charlemagne, and a few other people that kind of came to his defense? I think D-Wade was maybe another one. Do y'all have a problem with that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
When Riley Cooper said the N-word, you had all the Eagles players come to his defense and be like, that's not who he is.
Okay.
So I don't have a problem with Charlemagne or anybody saying like, yeah, I know Nick. Like, no, Nick is a good dude. Like, I'm sure he didn't mean it any type of way like that. Like, nothing wrong with that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, right. It's gonna be echo chamber. I totally agree.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay. So I mean, we're all in consensus on that. So the real question is, should Nick Cannon have been fired? And if you ask me, and let me say this, we want to say this is a safe space for us to talk. We do not want to spew any hate speech. We do not want to condemn any group of people. We are all inclusive. We're not necessarily all lives matter, but we care about all lives. All right, you got me? So let me say this.
When did we get a PR person to write something?
That was off the cuff. I'm gonna keep it a stack.
Nice. All right,
that was off the cuff.
We need to cut that clip.
We gotta clip that
in front of everything.
Absolutely, clip that.
We need that.
So let me say this. Let me ask y'all this question: should someone get fired for telling the truth? I'm asking y'all a question. I have not gave my opinion on what he necessarily said. I'm just asking, should someone get fired for telling the truth?
It depends on the situation.
If you asking me yes or no by just that, I would say no.
Okay. Rad?
Yes.
I want to hear it. Someone they should get fired for telling the truth.
Yes, because what if somebody on the TV say Black people used to be caught N-word?
That's why I said it depends on the situation.
Movies, people say that all the time in movies.
I'm just saying, if Laura Ingraham on Fox says that, she's getting fired and she deserves to be fired.
I don't necessarily
the
know
truth.
that to be
And that's
true.
the truth.
I don't know if she's gonna get fired, but I mean that remains to be seen. But okay, the consensus is Mike said no, they shouldn't be fired for telling the truth. I don't think she got fired. No, they shouldn't be fired. And y'all just said it depends on the situation. I agree, it depends on the situation. But
I didn't know that was an option. I thought it was yes or no.
I mean, well, you picked your own answer, Mike. Let me say this. For Nick Cannon, for me, this is me. Nick Cannon should have known better. I think, like, if you're gonna pride yourself on being knowledgeable on a lot of things, you have to know that if you're going to say that the Jewish community is in power, then it's very difficult to tear down somebody in power and be on their platform at the same time. Like you just like it's like, and I don't want to be graphic, but you know, don't piss on me and tell me it's raining, you know, type of thing. And that's kind of where listen. For all those who feel kind of way about that, I apologize. But
I'm putting out on a t-shirt.
We do have an older, you know, audience, so I apologize. But let me say this: like Nick Cannon, he should have known better, man. And you can't. I mean, you can, but you got to know the consequences that come with saying those things, right? But my question to y'all is: should Nick Cannon have got fired?
I don't believe so, right? I don't believe so, but I think it's honestly. I think it has something to do with, you know, cancel culture, right? Cancel culture where, you know, you could got fired for anything, right? You could have got people dig up tweets from 5 years ago and all that type of stuff. So it's kind of like karma of it. It's kind of like, you know, it's been a lot of white people in that situation, you know, saying something, or somebody homophobic saying something, you know, so it's kind of like, it's just be expecting. It's hypersensitive. I'm not trying to say what he said wasn't. I didn't know, honestly, when I was reading, I didn't know what he was saying was anti-Semitic. I didn't realize that, so it wasn't like a known thing. So now I understand. Like I heard people talk about that's what type of talk that was going before, you know, the whole Hitler situation. So I understand that's what started it, and that type of talk brings back memories and other things. So I totally get it. I'm not saying. He should have said shouldn't have said those things, but we are in a hypersensitive, you know, world. And fired, no, I think that's a moment of teaching, similar to my take on Drew Brees. Like it's a moment of teaching right there. It's like, bro, you can't say that. You know what I mean? And it's Viacom, bro. That's Nickelodeon. He been there for how long? You know what I mean? And that was his first hiccup, and he gone. So I don't believe
it wasn't his first hiccup.
I mean, you talk about the one with I'm sorry, but
America Got
that's
Talent.
the first known one I know. The first known one I know.
Nick Cannon has had a few hiccups, a few public statements that he said that he was, you know, under fire for. But that's neither here nor there. Mike, how do you feel?
So like Rad said, but this is my opinion about almost everybody. Like I'm not a huge fan of, like I said, the cancel culture. And like when somebody do something racist, like normally it's a white person do something racist, a lot of people get them fired or kicked out of school or something. And then like, to me, like
that's not normal.
All that is going to do is they're going to go home and become more racist and create more racist. Like you said, it could be times where, okay, this was racist. You need to learn, send them to a diversity training. Like Trevor Noah said this, like, we need to start having classes for these people instead of canceling them. So that's my take on it, just in general. As far as Nick Cannon, no, he should have been fired. Kind of similar to what the Eagles did. Deshaun Jackson did something similar last week, and they didn't kick him off the team. You know what happened? Julian Edelman called him, said, hey, this is why it was anti-Semitic. Come with me to the Jewish Museum. I can show you, teach you about the Holocaust, and you can learn our plight. Just like how we asking, white people to learn our plight. Let's learn the Jewish one. Let's learn the Native American one. And if we really want to have this inclusive country, let's start talking to each other when we mess up. You know what I'm saying? Like Deshaun Jackson is taking it to another level with what's going on in Philly, and it's been beautiful. I feel like Viacom could have did the same thing. Like they fired him like the same day. It's like y'all couldn't work this out a little bit.
I think it's wrong time, wrong place for Nick though. I think that Deshaun, I think that with the culture and with the riots and all that stuff, Black Lives Matter movement, all these movements, Deshaun Jackson just recently, the week before, I think it was really companies are trying to shut down and bite down, let everybody know we don't, no racism, no anti-Semitism, nothing of the sort. And I think it was an overreaction personally, but it's just wrong time, wrong place for me.
So why do Fox News get away with it every night?
Okay, and that's the thing, and Mills, I'm gonna come to you. So let me just throw this in there real quickly, since we're kind of going this way. Do y'all think that him being fired so quickly is evidence of what he was saying being right? Like that was fast. That was like, you said it, he was fired immediately. Nick is saying that there's a certain community in power. He spoke against that community who he claims is in power, and he was fired immediately because of what he said about that community. Because Mike said something that, and let me push back on that just a little bit, how Caucasian people, they may say a racist statement or do a racist thing, and you know how the Black community comes against them and get them fired. That is not normal, and it really has. First of all, it doesn't happen as much as it should happen. That's number one, and it really has happened as of late. You know what I'm saying? In the last 5 years, obviously we don't have to go through our plight. But I mean, they've been saying a million things against us for years, and they still in power. I mean, we saw, what's his name? The radio host, big radio host, talking about nappy-headed hoes.
Don
Imus?
Don Imus.
Don Imus? Yeah, Don Imus. Don Imus, I mean, after that, he was still syndicated. I mean, he was...
he was talking about Rutgers, right?
He was talking about Rutgers women's basketball. He called them nappy-headed hoes. I mean, can you imagine somebody calling a group of Black women, college athletes, nappy-headed hoes today? What I'm saying is that it's been happening, and none of them have been fired, or majority of them haven't been. Nick said it, and Nick was fired immediately. So my question is that evidence that these people are in power because he got fired so fast?
I'm gonna be real quick. As you guys know, I'm not one of the biggest talkers out of the group, but I pretty much piggyback on what Mike and Raz said. They pretty much hit every nail with the hammers we got. But one thing that a lot of people have to realize is when you voice your opinion, or whenever you make your views known to others, there is a possibility that you are going to hurt somebody's feelings.
Is that your responsibility or theirs?
Responsibility to what?
Is that their responsibility? Yeah, like whose responsibility that falls on, you think?
I mean, it falls on the hearer, the person that's listening.
Oh, wow. I think you mean it falls on the person that's talking. No?
No. I'm not responsible for your feelings. If you get upset by what I say, then that's kind of on you.
That's not, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Is that what we're saying?
That's what Brad is asking.
Oh, okay. So Mills, are you saying that?
Yes.
So you're saying that you are not responsible how someone feels when you say something to them or about them. You are not responsible for how they feel.
No, he's not.
No, what I'm saying, I'm not. But what I'm saying is the way that you see it, the way that you feel, the way that you think, that the point that I'm trying to make. So if I was to say that, yo, Sam, you got the worst jump shot in the city,
you aren't responsible for how I feel.
No, I'm not.
Okay, we gotta stop this. No, seriously, because we're getting this.
No, Sam, no, stop. No, let me say, because Sam, you could call me a chump, and I could be like, oh man, you so Shelly Chan. I could laugh it off, and the next day you call me a chump, and then I could just get mad and punch you like that. That is on me. I am the only person that's in control of my feelings. I decide on how I feel.
The issue of what you're saying is, one, it's just not true. And because I don't want to be Mr. Extremist, but then what do you say to an abuse victim? Mentally abused. What do you say to people like that? People who have been mentally abused by people, and you say what I say, it doesn't matter how you feel about it. I mean, that's
On some-
insane.
On some level,
You
on some
get what I'm
level,
saying?
because
That's
it's a book. It's a book I read. It's a book I read called The Four Agreements, and it's called. And one of the four agreements, it says, "Don't take nothing personal." Right. So
No, that's all fine and dandy. But like,
Yeah.
I'm talking about reality. I'm talking about practicality.
that's
Do
not.
you-
No. So practically, no. Like you talking about, the normal person is going to take it offensive, whoever it is. But we're saying, should we be held accountable if you
Yes.
take something? How can I know what's in everybody's heart and mind about what I'm saying? As long as you
Well,
speak
well,
your
it's
truth,
just like this.
as long as you're speaking your truth,
You
How can I
can't run in a crowd and say fire or shooting. And if it's not a fire or a shooting,
Bro, that's because it's illegal. What you talking
that's
about?
the point. So you
But
you
that-
are
but that-
responsible for the
but it's not
response of
truth.
other people.
You're not speaking your truth. You're not speaking.
Yo,
Okay,
you're
so
speaking
okay,
something true.
so
If
you're
you're
only
lying-
responsible when you're speaking truth.
Your truth in some way. Yeah.
Sam,
You know what
listen.
y'all saying?
Yeah, Sam, if me, you are talking, and I say, yo, Sam, you had a bad show, and that's all I say. You are going to feel how you feel by me saying that. Maybe if I yell at you, then you might feel like get defensive, but some people don't.
Now,
Know what I'm saying?
No, hear me. I understand exactly what y'all are saying, but the issue is when we extrapolate the argument or the discussion that we're talking about, you cannot make a blanket statement and say you are not responsible for how other people receive what you said to them. That's not.
I know
true.
what you're saying. I know what you're
You
saying,
can't,
Sam.
like that doesn't make because like
I know what you're saying. Because
okay,
on
so
both
did that-
extremes, on both extremes.
it's not an extreme, right?
Yes,
if you
I'm
tell
saying
your
on both
child,
extremes.
if you tell your child to jump, God forbid, if you tell your child to jump onto the expressway, are you not responsible?
Sam is like
Like, what are we
That's an
talking
extreme.
about? We gotta be
That's an
careful what
extreme.
we
We
say.
That's an
But that's not
extreme.
an extreme because people tell children to do bad things
Yo,
all the
yo.
time. Let's be clear about it.
But a lot of people don't. It's an extreme, Sam.
Oh, whoa,
It's
whoa,
an
whoa,
extreme.
whoa. No, you say a lot of people don't.
Or I can say,
You
or
say
I
a
can
lot of
say,
people don't.
or I can say, you look,
You say
you
that.
look beautiful today. And a girl, insecure girl, can just be like, oh, is he making fun of me? Like, you know what I'm
Or
saying?
she can say
That's an
that's mental
extreme.
abuse and you in
Or that's
jail
a-
now. I'm just being honest. And let's
I'm
talk
saying that's
about
both extremes. Like,
Yo,
I'm trying to be
yo,
nice.
yo,
and
yo,
you take it as me.
I don't know what
we-
preach even talk about no more.
Oh, no. People gonna agree with me after this. That's a fact. I don't know what y'all talking about. But listen, let me say this. Because really,
So they
what
have
we're
been
talking
fired.
about, yes, Shanika have been fired, and we all gave our opinion on that. I mean, that's up for interpretation. But the question is, and I think the word was thrown around, I think Mike threw it around, and he threw the term racist out there, right? And some people have said that Nick Cannon was racist with his comments, right?
Mhm.
And so the question that's really going around now in the climate of society is, can African Americans be racist? That's kind of the question that's been thrown around. So even Nick saying what he said, was Nick racist? Can he even be racist? And I'm throwing that out there to y'all. I want to hear y'all. I want to hear what y'all got to say.
Go ahead, Melly. You've been kind of quiet. I want to see what you got to hear. Or hear what you got to say, Mills.
I mean, I'm just gonna make one statement. I don't believe racism should be specified to a specific race or specific ethnic group. So, with that being said, anybody can be racist.
Okay.
How about you, Rat?
This is tough. Because it's tough. I my first opinion of it when I heard it was like, I mean, sure, sure, black people can be racist on some level, on some level, yeah, you know what I mean. But on some level, it's tough. It's a tough conversation. I heard different arguments and I see both sides. You know what I mean? Because race is such a non-real thing. You know what I mean? It's like it's so stupid on some level. You know what I mean? That so it's hard. So I see it in both cases. Yes, I guess the answer is yes and no. You know what I mean? So I know that don't answer anything, but yeah, I want to hear what y'all got to say.
I'm being completely honest. Y'all, both y'all hemming and high right
Hey,
now.
him
Like,
and
yo, y'all
high.
hemming and high.
Got Jiminy
Oh my
Hines
God.
dancing.
I see both.
Okay.
I see both sides
God.
very well.
Gregory
Bro.
Hines
Both
is
sides
double
very
dutching.
well.
Yeah.
Double dutching.
One for
I
them,
see
one
both
for
sides very
those.
well. I see sides both very well. Bro.
Mike,
So let me say this. So
Some more him and high.
no, it depends about the definition that you use, right?
Ah, see, that's him and the high.
no,
No,
it
you know what I'm
doesn't.
saying?
It does not.
Well, it kind
Alright.
of does, right?
Okay, then explain your point.
Because look at my notes. I want to be
Get to your
clear.
notes, Mike.
I want to be clear here. I want to be sure.
Him
You
and
said,
high, him.
at this point, I'm going to cut what Sam said about how we don't stand hate speech here and But so racism is a belief that race is primary determinant of human traits and capabilities. Racial differences produce inherent superiority of particular race. So by that definition of can I be better than you? I'm black. I'm better than you. Can black people feel that way? Sure. Like, no, people are raised like, you're melanin, black. I'm black and proud. Like, being black means something. Being the descendant of slaves or ancestors, all that means something. So if somebody think like, I'm glad I'm black, I'd rather be black than any other race. And if that is racist, then then I guess by using that definition, yeah. But also, it also says that a racist is a person who believes in or supports a political or social system founded on racism. By that definition, no, because our America's social and political system was made by old white men to benefit more old white men. So the systems here don't benefit us solely by our skin color. Like when we talk about white privilege, we don't mean that your life isn't hard. It's just your life isn't hard because your skin color. Like we can be going to the same thing, and I'm walking down the street and I get stopped just because I'm black. You know what I'm saying? So our life is harder because of our skin color. So by that definition, no, you can't be racist because the systems that America was founded on was founded on racism. It literally was in the Constitution that slaves can't be people, and then when we became people, we was 3/5. So no, we can't. By that definition, you can't be racist, and that's the one that I use. What I say is that black people can't be racist, but us being racist doesn't affect white people. When white people are racist, it affects everybody. When black people are racist, we just racist in our own home. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have the power to affect people's lives negatively. Like Nick Cannon just got fired for being racist. When Laura Ingraham saw Hannity, Tucker Carlson saying racist stuff for years, and Tucker Carlson got the #1 show almost in history, and he say racist stuff every night. I'm like, I can't believe he just said this, and no one does anything. So that's why I'm saying like no, because the system doesn't help us inherently.
Okay.
Hopefully that was a little better than the Hammond and Hall.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, Mike.
You
Mike, that's what I
him
had.
a
That's what I wanted to say.
You was a little him behind. I'll say this. By every definition, black people cannot be racist. And the reason I say that is because when we look at the etymology of the word racism, right? When you look at the etymology. Yeah, it's just the root. Racism is a fairly recent term, and it only goes back to the 30s, and it was really to describe a social and political ideology, meaning it is a social construct. It was made up, and to be honest, it was really that term race was, and it's kind of apropos that we're talking about all of this because it was made up from the Nazis, and we know how that correlates to the Jewish community and all that. So let me say this: black people can be racist. From Mike, he came on at the end because at the end of the day, systematically we don't have the power. So we can be prejudiced against certain things, right? Like we can sure be prejudiced. We all know prejudiced people. But as far as racist and being a racist, it's just we can't do it because we do not hold that political power in those specific structures. So just from that alone, we just
saying so the answer isn't black people can't be racist is black
No,
people
that
can't
is the
be racist.
answer.
I'm saying black people can't be racist yet.
No,
We can't,
Oh.
like if it flips or something, if we get the power, we can be racist, right?
If we change the system.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
whoever holds the power structure, whoever holds the power structure. But we're talking about. I mean, I'm not just talking about your local mom and pop store. I'm talking about a vast.
No. I totally agree. I hear
we're
you
saying in
saying.
government. We're saying in ownership. We're saying in as far as who has all the land. Like I'm talking.
No, I
you know,
hear you. I
across the
totally get
board.
what you're saying because
So case in point.
it's a saying that race isn't real, but racism is. Racism is made up and it's a social construct, but the effects of it is as real as ever. It's a lie,
Absolutely.
but you can lie to somebody and have a huge effect on everything.
It was
around
used
you.
for that.
So that's what it is.
I'm glad you said that because it really brought me back. And I gotta credit my cousin. We were talking about this before. My cousin David and my cousin Daniel. They put it to me in this way: Black Wall Street was destroyed because a white woman said she was raped there.
Mm-hmm.
They came and they burnt it down, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
In our own city, Buffalo, New York, it was a police officer by the name of Carol Horn who tried to stop an officer from excessive force.
Neil
She's
Mack.
been fired even to this day. And her story is just now getting light. Two women, one looks one way, an entire community was burnt down to the ground because of that. The other one looks another way, she just got fired. Case in point. I mean, and I don't have to just stop there. There's a million things. So as far as Mills, when you say that Mills, I mean, we just got to put that on there. You know, it's just like, it's you know, just to say that you're perpetuating that cycle that they want to put out. And I say they, I mean, whoever the powers that be is. All right.
But no, it is
That's
important to
what I'm
talk
saying.
about
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
But it is
Absolutely.
important to talk. I totally agree everything you just said, Sam. It was dope. But it is important to talk about it because it's a question, right? When people trying to fix everything that's going on in this country, racism is a big deal. But it is a question. It is a thin line between are black people trying to get equal or are black people trying to get even? You know what I'm saying? It is a thin line between people who, right? When when people watch TV, watch something on Facebook, and they see a white dude wilding, and the cop don't kill him, and they say black.
We do not want the cop to kill him. What you're saying?
Yeah, but people say they should have shot him. They should have killed him. Like, whoa. No. They shouldn't have shot him. That's good. They did good.
Yes.
Good job, cops, for not shooting him. But in our minds, because we see it, it's just deservingly so. I'm not saying they're not justified by saying this type of stuff, but it's a point where you go past trying to be equal and you trying to get even. You know what I mean? And that's gonna be a harder, much tougher battle. So you do want to stop some things.
Well, I don't know what everybody else wants. I don't want to necessarily get even because getting even, you're just as worse as the oppressor.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
Oppressed doesn't want to become the oppressor.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. That's not what that.
Yeah. So
that's not what I'm for.
the question is, are you against oppression or you're against being oppressed? And it's just, I don't want to be oppressed, but oppression is fine just long as that's not me. You know what I mean?
Martin Luther King said this: "An injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere."
Bingo.
I say it every podcast.
Bingo.
So
You are become more known for that quote.
Listen.
You will become more known for that quote than he is.
Listen. But it's real.
Mills,
And, I mean,
Mills
that-
and his hammers.
Yeah, that's the position I have.
You and
So
your
I
injustice.
agree, Rat. I don't want to necessarily get even, but being equal does take a lot of work. Let's just be honest. Let's tell the whole truth.
Yeah.
And so, you know what I mean? That I think we've kind of covered everything on the Nick Cannon piece. Now, granted, I mean, I don't think any of us wanted Nick Cannon to get fired, but it just shows us, how important, ownership and being on your own platform and things of that nature. Like, if you're going to say it, you got to understand the consequences that come behind it at the end of the day.
We think it's sports, but sometimes we don't know. We asking everybody to just tune into our show. We think it's sports.